June is Men's Mental Health Month. Men, take a moment. Take a deep breath. You are not alone. Men's Mental Health Month is not just to raise awareness, but to remind each other we matter, we're needed, and the truth is, we're in a fight that too many men are losing. Data from 2022 shows every year 640,000 men. That's enough to fill the largest sports stadiums in the world more than 6 times. Every 45 seconds, somewhere in the world, a man takes his own life. Every minute, another man is gone. In just 1 hour, 79 men die by suicide. In a single day, 1,905 men die by their own hand. In a week, 13,033. And in a month, 53,333 men. Enough to fill this stadium. Let's bring it home to the United States. In 2021, the suicide rate for men was 4 times higher than that for women. Men made up nearly 80% of all suicide deaths in this country. That means that out of every 5 people who die by suicide, 4 are men. And it does not matter where you live or how old you are or what you do for a living. Suicide is the 7th leading cause of death for men in the U.S. overall. But for men aged 25 to 54, suicide is now the 2nd leading cause of death, second only to accidents. This number is growing rapidly, particularly among young men and boys. As of June 2025, we are already to 444,536. That will be 891,072 this year if something doesn't change. That's 1 man every 30 seconds in 2025. Let that sink in. For many men in their prime, fathers, husbands, brothers, colleagues, suicide is a bigger killer than heart disease, cancer, or homicide. It doesn't start with suicide, it starts with silent pain. Over 6 million adult men in the U.S. reported experiencing suicidal thoughts in 2021 alone. That's more than the entire population of some states. And this is just what's reported. Experts estimate that for every 1 man who dies by suicide, there are at least 25 attempts. That's more than 16 million suicide attempts by men each year. We know that mental illness is the single biggest risk factor for suicide. Over 90% of those who die by suicide are struggling with mental health, like depression, anxiety, isolation, or substance abuse, self-medication. Depression is a monster. Researchers estimate that up to 60% of men who die by suicide had major depression. But depression in men often looks different. Anger, irritability, risk-taking, withdrawal, and too often it goes unnoticed, unspoken, or untreated. Why? Because men are taught from a young age to man up, to hide our pain, to solve our problems on our own, to be strong, silent, and stoic. The result? Only about 1 in 4 men who experience depression ever seek help. That means 75% of us are trying to handle it alone. And it's a fight that few men can win by themselves. Men are also less likely to talk about their struggles. Studies show that men are 40% less likely than women to get mental health treatment. We've been conditioned to believe that openness is weakness, that asking for help makes us less of a man. But that's a lie. When a man dies by suicide, it doesn't end with him. Each suicide leaves behind a circle of pain. Experts estimate that every suicide directly affects 7 to 10 people. Family, friends, coworkers, entire communities. That's not counting the indirect effects, the grief, the confusion, the unanswered questions. So what can we do? Brothers, we need to talk. We need to check on each other. Not just hey, how's it going? Or how are you? But how are you really? And then listen. Really listen. When someone asks, I'm fine or I'm okay, if it's a lie and the wrong answer. We need to normalize speaking up. Only 11% of men who experienced mental health challenges in the past year reported receiving any form of treatment. That's not enough. We need to learn the warning signs. Withdrawal, anger, reckless behavior, hopelessness, self-medication, talking about wanting to die. And when we see this in a friend, a brother, a coworker, we need to reach out. We need to remind him, you are not alone. You matter. I will listen. It can't get better. Brothers, imagine if we could change those numbers. Imagine if every one of us decided, I am my brother's keeper. Imagine if we celebrated the courage to speak up. Imagine if we celebrated asking for help. And we make it part of our culture that asking for help makes us braver, not weaker. Imagine if we built a culture of men supporting men through hard times and celebrating with each other in the good times. The truth is, you are needed. Your life matters. Your struggles are real, but they are not insurmountable. You are not alone. You can get through this. Let's take a moment of silence to honor the men we've lost. The brothers, the fathers, the sons, the friends. This can get better. We are in this together. Let's keep this conversation going, not just this month, but every month. Let's stand up for each other. Let's stand with each other. I am with brothers.